What has happened to Indian cricket? India has the best talent, both raw and polished, if you look from the perspective of world cricket. India has the best domestic tournaments in the world in the form of the Ranji Trophy, the Vijay Hazare Trophy, the Duleep Trophy, the Irani Trophy, the NKP Salve Challenger Trophy, and the IPL. India has the best sponsors and is the richest cricket board in the world. India also has the best supporting cricket loving audience. They are ready to travel around the world, support their team and give them confidence as the 12th man, and have the potential and passion for turning any foreign stadium into India's home stadium. But when it comes to ICC trophies containing many teams, the Indian performance has been just an average when compared to the potential and expectations. Why is India not able to win an ICC tournament for more than a decade, even after reaching the knockout stages multiple times? To answer it, we have to discuss something unique here. India was the winner of the Olympic gold medals in a particular sport in the years 1928, 1932, 1936, 1948, 1952, 1956, 1964 and 1980. India was also the winner of the World Cup in 1975 in the same sport. This is the remarkable record of the Indian hockey team. Indian hockey team is in fact the most successful team ever in Olympics. India also won the 1928 and 1956 Olympics even without conceding a single goal. What happened after 1980? Why was the Indian team not able to win a single Olympic gold after 1980? Did India lose the talent pool of hockey all of a sudden? Did Indians stop supporting hockey? Why did India finish last in hockey in the 2012 London Olympics? This is where we will have to discuss the harsh reality. The prominent people responsible for this downfall were the Indian Hockey Authority. The International Hockey Federation altered the rules of hockey to make synthetic AstroTurf the main playing surface for the international hockey tournaments, including the Olympics. Indian players who played on grass fields couldn't cope with it. Even after knowing that the conversion to AstroTurf all of a sudden without much discussion was not fair, the Indian Hockey Authority didn't protest in the way we should have protested. This was a pre-planned move by the European and Australian hockey authorities to give an unfair advantage to their players who relied more on raw power than technical skills. Moreover, these countries had thousands of AstroTurfs that India didn't have at that time. It was mainly due to complacency, mismanagement and lack of timely intervention of the authority that India hockey had to suffer such a fate. We shouldn't forget the fact that many other sports are played on different turfs, including tennis, which is played on grass, clay and hard court. If the authorities had shown a little more concern at that time, India would have been still number one in hockey. The authorities were more concerned with dirty politics, money and other unnecessary things than what they should have actually focused. The public and the hockey players were fed up with what was happening in the 1980s. Precisely at the same time, 1983 happened. Kapil Dev and his team had a remarkable journey in the 1983 World Cup and defeated the world champions at that time, West Indies, to win the World Cup. Cricket thus exploited the weakness of hockey and won the hearts of millions of Indians, and they never looked back after that. Now, cricket is going through a similar phase hockey passed through in the 1980s. The problem that Indian cricket is facing can be divided into three. The first problem is that the people who are responsible for controlling cricket are more interested in politics and the monetary aspect of the game than the actual game. The second problem is with the players themselves. Everyone on the Indian team is literally a superstar. This might lead to the development of a god complex among the star players. Indian team sometimes reminds us of the star-studded Real Madrid football team in the latter half of the 1990s. They had a lot of superstars in their team but were unable to win any major tournaments. The Indian cricket team is also following a similar path. It is mainly because of the superstars live in a world of their own and cannot play together as a solid team. The third and the biggest problem that Indian cricket has is none of the above discussed problems. The main problem that needs immediate attention is the selectors. Despite the vast amount of the talent pool, the selectors always manage to select the least apt players for the tournament. The chief selector Saba Karim said that the players like Sanju Samson lack the X factor which Rishabh Pant has. This is how Pant performed in the only 2 innings he played in the current 2020 World Cup. 6 runs of 4 balls and 3 runs of 5 balls. For Dinesh Karthik, the other wicketkeeper selected, the scores were 1 run of 2 balls, 6 runs of 15 balls and 7 runs of 5 balls. It means both these wicketkeepers could not even score a double-digit score in all the 6 matches that India played in this World Cup. All the times these 2 wicketkeepers came to bat, they got out quickly, pushing India into a deeper trouble. The selectors should have gone for the informed Sanju Samson instead of the X factor and the Y factor. This is just pure common sense to select an informed batsman instead of the struggling batsman for the major tournament like the World Cup. It is true that we also have to give importance to experience, but for experience we had Kohli and Rohit. The sheer mix of experience, talent and form makes a perfect team and not just experience alone. India reached the semi-final just based on the form factor of Surya Kumar Yadav and Virat Kohli. Cricket is a team game and we can't rely on just a couple of players to win a big tournament like the World Cup. The selectors will also be answerable for selecting the out-of-form KL Rahul as the opening batsman and Mohammad Shami as a strike bowler who was just coming out of an injury and COVID concerns after 1 year hiatus of not playing any cricket. All the spectators are very disappointed with the Indian cricket right now, just like they were irritated at hockey during the 1980s. There is a high probability that the spectators will deviate to some other sports if the Indian team excels in that sport during this time, just like how they shifted from the hockey to cricket in the 1980s. Indian hockey itself is making the necessary inroads by breaking the 41-year-old jinx and winning the hockey bronze in the last Tokyo Olympics. What the cricket board and the selectors should understand is to stop being arrogant and never underestimate the audience and take them for granted, just like what Nokia did when they were the best company in the world. If you don't respect the fans' feelings and try to do whatever you like, the Indian cricket will have a horrible future both in terms of performance in the international ICC tournaments and support from the fans. Let us hope that the officials will open their eyes soon and rectify all the problems to bring Indian cricket back on track.